How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about MMAT, metamaterials. We ended up getting a big time news update, and we're going to be going over that as well as some more details. So let's jump into it. So we're going to be going over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is the recent news update. And then secondly, we're going to be doing a technical analysis, taking a look at the overall price action. This is key. We want to have a good idea of direction. And then afterwards, we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information and as well as recent institutional ownership. You'd be surprised there. And then afterwards, we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know where institutions loading up on shares today, and we notice from the large scale orders. And then when all of that is done, we'll be jumping into the final thoughts. So let's get to it. So let's go over the update that came out today for metamaterials. I took a portion of an article that goes straight to the point, so let's get to it. So MMAT stock will benefit from the nanotechnology merger. So that's pretty much what we're going to be going into. Another merger could be able to change things though. Today, metamaterials is announcing its acquisition of Nanotech Security. Nanotech is a security outfit that creates nano-optic security products for banknotes and government identification. A press release from Nanotech is highlighting the details of the acquisition. The deal will be an all-cash transaction of $90.8 million paid by Meta. Meta will be paying $1.25 per share to all shareholders of Nanotech stock immediately. The acquisition represents another stride by metamaterials to expand its reach across the technology industry. The acquisition is also joined by a series of tweets from metamaterials founder and CEO George Palarakis, sorry if I butchered that name, who seems to be targeting institutional sellers. Today, Palarakis is taking aim at behind-the-scenes trading, which often has a detrimental effect on short-squeeze stocks and penny stocks. A simple tweet from Palarakis shows the executive is not keen on dark pools. Dark pools are private exchanges where institutions can move large volumes of stock without the public knowing until after execution. It seems as though Palarakis is showing support for the Securities and Exchange Commission's desire to take a closer look at dark pooling and its effects on stock prices. SEC Chairman Gary Gensler says the committee will be looking at dark pools and their potential for market manipulation. The statement is seeing support from the retail trading community. So that was definitely a mouthful there. So first, what we have to take into consideration, yes, metamaterials is definitely leveraging the amount of cash that they have on hand in regards to acquiring companies and make the business better. And then on top of that, we have the owner coming out saying, hey, I ain't liking these dark pools. You are manipulating my stock and so on. So I think that is great, especially for anyone who's inside of this play and may have short-term or medium-term goals. And also for the long-term investors, you're seeing, hey, Meta is making those strides to progress the company and also provide value to shareholders. So now let's jump into the technicals. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for MMAT metamaterials. So let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $3.15, being up 1.61%. On the low, it tested $3.11, and then on the high, testing $3.58. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 27 million shares, and our average volume over 10 trading days is usually around 12.32 million shares. So we pretty much doubled that, and it's part of the reasons why we saw some strength inside of the stock price today. So the chart we're using is the 1-year daily chart. Let's see how it's lining up with our indicators here. So when we take a look at the RSI down below, it is right around 38.94. So yes, we are in the oversold territory. Taking a look at the indicators on our chart, we are below the 100-day, the 21-day EMA, and as well as the 200-day. And like I was telling you guys before previously, if we're seeing a lot of price action underneath the 200-day. Of course, as far as the downside is concerned, it's very likely. So what we wanted to look for was a reversal, to see some strength. We ended up getting a good catalyst today, which ended up having us a resurgence where we got to $3.58. But of course, as you can see in the past, this has been an area of resistance for MMAT. So that's why we had the selling pressure. So if it was able to actually get past this and there was more volume coming into the stock, then of course we wanted to come here right at the 200-day to test 375. Yes, we would get some resistance there, but if we were able to pass it, things could really take off and we would have been able to get to that $4 level. So now that the news has kind of been digested and we see, well, you know what, it kind of looks like, it hasn't really changed much from the prior days. I would still look out for those areas of where it could possibly pull back to, which is the $3 level, and also as well, like we were discussing, around this 280 area as well. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Let's see how it turns out on Friday. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information from metamaterials. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we see August 5th, which is today, we have Rumline Advisors that purchased 32,324 shares, and then we also have Grant, Gross, and Meldison that actually purchased 11,171 shares. So these were filings, so that's good to see institutions are purchasing shares of MMAT. When we take a look at the short interest, scrolling down on the page, we can see that the short shares availability is at 1 million, updated 5 minutes ago. And as far as for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 2.09%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see here for the close of August the 4th, it was at 55.37, but the day before that, which is on the 3rd, it was at 56.82. So it did go down just a little bit, but it'd be very interesting to see what it will be later on in the evening. But for the most part, yes, MMAT continues to have short squeeze potential. So if it gets a lot of attention and there's a lot of buying volume, like you see inside of the stock, especially what happened in pre-market when that news ended up being dropped, we could see some strong moves in price action. So definitely continue to keep an eye on it. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for MMAT. So we could see here on the inflow, it was at 14.73, and on the outflow, it was at 17.41. Keep in mind, this is in the millions. So on the large, we have 0 for the inflow. On the medium, we have 8.35, and then on the small, we have 6.38. As far as for the outflow side, we have 0.21, and on the medium, we have 10.83, and then on the small, we have 6.37. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, we ended up having that outflow being at 207.86. And looking at my phone quickly, I could also see that we are green currently inside of the after hours. So one of the things that I want to be clear about, we are going into Friday where a lot of stocks face a lot of selling pressure. Many people are not trying to hold it over the weekend. So what we want to see some price strength from MMAT. This is very important because, like I was saying, inside of the technicals, there's a good amount of downward risk as far as how low the stock can actually go. So for my final thoughts for MMAT metamaterials, hey, I'm actually loving the fact that, hey, we have the CEO coming out saying, hey, I don't like dark pools. There's a lot of manipulation. They're doing a lot with this stock right now, and it's just not fair. It needs to be looked at. This is huge because one of the things that I feel many shareholders want to know, and a lot of people who are looking forward to this short squeeze, how is he feeling about it? Is he on our side and so on? And hey, you already got your answer. As far as what's going on the business side, it's good to see that they're making progressions in regards to operation and they're using their cash on hand to really solidify themselves and grow the company. This is great for anyone who's a long-term investor and they see the value in metamaterials. When we went on Fintel taking a look at the short interest information, of course it continues to have short squeeze potential. Really can't wait to see until what those short volume ratio numbers are later on in the evening. And then on top of that, you can see we have some institutions who are purchasing shares as well. So this is definitely some good news. And as far as how it's going to be performing in regards to the close of the after hours, I want to see that continued strength and momentum. And like I was saying, for Friday, it is going to be a volatile day. So we're going to have to be patient and see how the stock actually performs. But with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.